and welcome to another booktube video from me, Lauren, from Lauren and the Books. And today I'm bringing to you, I always say that, I'm bringing to you, a selection of books that I want to read in 2017. Now, I did my bookish, my reading resolutions and booktube plans video, and in that video I said, oh, I don't like to pick a selection of books that I'm definitely going to read in that amount of time. Well, I did feel like that until I watched so many booktubers' favourite books of 2016. By the way, I love watching those videos. And within those booktubers' videos, I was like, I own a lot of these books that people are saying were the best books of 2000 that they read in 2016. Come on, Lauren, pull your finger out and read those. So I have here a selection of 2, 4, 6, 8, 10. Hadn't even planned for it to be 10, and it's 10. 10 books that have appeared in Booktubers' Best Books of 2016 that I want to read in 2017. Now, I'm going to have a bit of a jig. I've had a bit of a mini jig around on my shelves. So I've taken all of these off my shelves to show you, and I'm going to leave them off my shelves in a place where I can see them and be like, come on, Lauren, you said you wanted to read that. Let's read it, because I'd love to get these read in 2017. So there's 10 here. A few of them I had sort of lined up anyway to read shortly, and they're just going to be books that I want to read pretty soon, because some of my most respected views of booktubers have said that these are the best books they've read in 2016. So I'll start with the first one, which wasn't a book that I watched in a favourites video of 2016, but Holly Dunn, I will link her channel down below, she told me when we were at the Pam Macmillan book break Christmas party that The Lie Tree was the best book that she'd read in 2016. So I absolutely need to do this. Need to read this. This is an illustrated edition published by Pam Macmillan that they kindly sent me to review, and I obviously need to pull my finger out and get reading this. It's beautifully illustrated, and the front cover just feels absolutely lovely. It's illustrated by Chris Riddell, who does a lot of sort of fantasy illustrations, and I think he's illustrated The Sleeper and the Spindle, the Neil Gaiman graphic novel. And yeah, this just looks lovely. The front cover's lovely, and it's about a girl who has a thirst for science and secrets that the rigid confines of her class cannot suppress, and so it is, bloody hell, it'd help if I could actually read. And so it is that she discovers her disgraced father's journals filled with the scribbles, notes and theories of a man driven close to madness. Yeah, I can't wait to read this. I think maybe I might be reading this on my cosy reading night. I think maybe. So that's the first one. And as I said, that was from Holly. So the second 2 are from my very good friend Simon from Savage Reads. The first book he recommends is, he said was one of his favourites from 2016, is This Must Be the Place by Maggie O'Farrell. David's mum bought me this for Christmas. I hadn't even asked for it, and I was like, when Simon mentioned it, I was like, I think I got that for Christmas, and I did. So it's a book set in Ireland. And I love books set in Ireland, and it's about a chap called Daniel Sullivan, who's a man with a complicated life, and he's a New Yorker living in the wilds of Ireland. He has children he never sees in California, a father he loves in Brooklyn, and a wife, Claudette, who's a reclusive ex-film star given to shooting at anyone who ventures up their driveway. So yeah, I feel very excited about this. I've never read any Maggie O'Farrell, and one of my friends who we share quite a lot of the same reading tastes, Dolores, her name is. She read a lot of Maggie O'Farrell when she was away on her honeymoon, and said that she's an extremely easy read and very enjoyable. So I've been meaning to read some of her for ages, and it was just chance that David's mum bought me this for Christmas. So yeah, I will be coming to that soon. So Simon also recommended this book, which is also recommended by Jen. I've got it all, it's all laid out beautifully in this video, and that is The Butcher's Hook by Janet Ellis, which I bought last year when it came out. Oh, look at this look at that beautiful bookmark. I actually tried the first chapter of this in the original Try the First Chapter tag. So Simon and Jen both absolutely love this. It's a story about a young girl, Anne Jacob, who falls in love with the butcher's boy, but I believe there's a lot more to it than that. It's supposed to be quite sexy, quite gruesome, quite gory. I need to find some historical fiction that I love. I'm yet to find anything that I've been like, oh bloody hell, that's blown me out of the water, but this sounds like it's got potential. So yes, I need to get around to reading this. I really, really love this front cover. I feel like I could look at this front cover for ages. It reminds me of a plate. I'd like a plate with it. But actually, when you look closer, some of these pictures are pretty grimo. So yeah, that is recommended by Simon and Jen. The next one is recommended by Jen Campbell. As I said, I will link everyone's channels down below and their favourites videos, in fact. And that is Another Day in the Death of America by Gary Young. This is a book it's a non-fiction book about a 24-hour period in America when I believe it was 10 young people lost their lives to gun violence. Completely unrelated, but just in that randomly picked 24 hours, 10 people lost their life to gun violence, which is unacceptable and awful. I've been meaning to read this for such a long time. It sounds to me like such an important book, and I really, really need to get around to reading it. So that will be being read this year as well. Lauren from Reads and Daydreams recommended two that I actually had on my shelves. The first one is Multitudes by Lucy Caldwell. This is a short story collection. I think I might have read, and I also read the first short story of this in the Try the Short Story tag, which I believe I enjoyed. I don't really remember much about it. So it says here, from Belfast to London and back again, the 11 stories that comprise Caldwell's first collection explore the many facets of growing up, the pain and the heartache, the tenderness and the joy, the fleeting and the formative, the drunkenness of things being various. Stories of longing and belonging, they culminate with the heart-wrenching and unforgettable title story. So this sounds to me like something I'm going to be bang into. I really like realist short stories, so I think that sounds like this is what this is going to be. So that's the first one Lauren recommended. She also recommended Grief is the Thing with Feathers by Max Porter. Look, this is where I bought it. I bought it in Libraria. So last year, when was that, David? About October time?
What?
When we went to Libraria and Brick Lane.
Well, we did ours to Darren?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So October time, don't know why we needed to have that little tete-a-tete. October time, there was a booktuber meetup where some of my favourite booktubers stationed themselves in Libraria, which is a bookshop on Brick Lane in London, and invited people to come along and they would help them pick some books. So I went along to see my pals, and while I was there, I bought Grief is the Thing with Feathers, which is a poetry collection by Max Porter based on The Crow by Ted Hughes, and I was like, I will read this soon, I haven't read it. And now Lauren said it was one of her favourite books of 2016, so I absolutely need to read it. I also bought, on that same day, Hold Your Own by Kate Tempest, which was Vanessa from Chbosky's one of her favourite books last year. So I need to read this as well. I've heard such wonderful things about Kate Tempest. She's supposed to be incredible. I need to read this. I also need to read Let Them Eat Chaos, because that was another one that I don't own, but I saw appearing on a lot of people's 2016 favourite books. So that's another one. Sanne from Books and Quills said that one of her favourite books from 2016 was Oranges Are Not the Only Fruit by Jeanette Winterson. I am yet to read some Jeanette Winterson. I had the 12 Days of Christmas book for my Advent period of Christmas, but Christmas was just so busy. We only read 2 stories, didn't we? Both of which we enjoyed. This is supposed to be one of the old bestest Jeanette Wintersons, and I'm looking forward to reading it. I'm also excited because this is my cousin Laura's copy that she used to study when she was in A-level, and she's got all her notes in there, so I feel like that's going to add an extra dimension of me having a little look into old Laura's brain. So yes, looking forward to reading that too. Now Mercedes, I've just got a bit of fluff off my nose. Mercedes said that her favourite book of 2016 was The Essex Serpent by Sarah Perry. This is a book that I got from the publisher earlier on in the year, and I was meant to read, never got round to it. I have also just heard such amazing things. Again, it's a historical fiction book, of which I'm trying to find one that I adore, about a woman called Cora, and I really like the name Cora because it's a character in Downton Abbey who I also really enjoy. Her husband dies, and she moves to Colchester, and they look up something about a mythical Essex Serpent, and she sort of follows that. It's supposed to be amazing. The front cover is beautiful. We actually bought this for David's mum for Christmas as well. It won Waterstones Book of the Year last year. So do I need any higher praise than Waterstones and Mercedes and a beautiful front cover? No, I don't. Mercedes, also one of her other favourite books of the year, and also Max from Well Done Books, is The Unseen World by Liz Moore. I bought this in a bookshop in London. It's published by Windmill Books, and it's about a girl whose surrogate father is a computer science programmer, and when he dies, she looks onto a he's diagnosed with Alzheimer's, and she finds some of his studies and she looks into that, and it's supposed to be amazing. So those are the books that I want to read. Every time I put one down, it shakes the camera. I do apologise. Those are the books. I'm going to have a bit of drink before I carry on with that. No spilling. I'm ever so thirsty. These these are the books that I want to read in 2017 that were appeared in Booktubers 2016 favourites videos. Have you read any of these? Are you looking forward to reading any of these in 2017? I've got to find a space to put them on my bookshelf so that I'm not... If they're in my bookshelves, which they were beautifully until about 5 minutes ago, then I'm not going to see them properly, and I need to put them in a place where I'm going to really look at them. I can't even tell you how heavy these are, and I'm really, really doing well by holding them up like this. I think I'm going to start with Hold Your Own. Hold Your Own is one that I've been meaning to read for a long, long time. Well, all of them I've been meaning to read for a long, long time. But Hold Your Own I think is quite a good place to start, and I really want to actually get into some poetry this year. I've never read... But basically any poetry apart from when I was at school and I studied poetry. I really haven't read any. I read a few Carol Ann Duffy's over the Christmas period and really enjoyed them and thought I'm going to get into it. So that's my plan. So yeah, as I said, these are the books that I will be reading in 2017, and I will see you all again soon for another BookTube video. Goodbye!